Hey everyone, Jeremy here with a look at Dragon's Profit and spending station cash in the game and how much, to get an idea of how much money you might end up spending and where it can be spent. Station cash is the Sony Online Entertainment in-game currency you buy with real-world money, and it costs about $100 per 100 station cash. So 500, but you can't buy it in any kind of allotment you want. You know, you kind of buy 500 for $5 or 1,000 for $10 or 2,000 for $20. Now when you start going over that, you can start getting a discount on the total amount. But keep in mind that station cash is pretty much 100 equals $1. So that also means one station cash equals 1 penny. I want to look at the Lair, then crafting, and I'll even briefly touch on some other things, but I just want to keep a bend towards the Lair and crafting. When you start the game, you have 2 free slots in the stable and the Lair, and then the stable you can open additional slots for $155 or $1.55 each. The stable you can open additional slots after the first 2 free ones for $2.20 each. Now these are permanent. A couple other things that are permanent are your bag space. You can open up new slots or rows. Now this increases. I already bought like 1 or 2 slots and I forget what I paid, but I paid less than $3.15. But to open up the next row, I would pay $3.15, then $4.20, then $5.10. Now I still get one. You get 2 free slots opened up, one at level 10 and one at level 20. Now the dragon processes are where some prices can start racking up. You can add. Let me go to a different dragon that doesn't have a process. So a process is just making a schedule, and you can also queue the schedule. So if we pick something we want, skill training, you can set your schedule depending on what that is, and that basically, the details are basically like what material you want him to collect. But the important thing for this video is the time. You can you can have 1 hour or 5 hour with just in-game money spent. So you can have one process for each dragon. So if I had 6 dragons filling up my stable, I could go to each one separately and assign one schedule and get to pay with only in-game money for each of those dragons. So if I set to 5, but to going above that, you can see how 6 hours is 20 cents, 12 hours is 40, up to 24 hours is 80 cents. So you can add that, but if you add one, let me just add the 5 hour and pay with in-game money. And now if I wanted to add a second one to this dragon, I have to start paying station cash. There is no free in-game for alternates. It starts at 5 station cash, or that's basically 5 cents. So a lot of this is microtransaction, but it goes back up to the equivalent, the same thing, 24 hours at 80 cents if I want to add another process for this same dragon. Also, you can shorten the times. Let me go to this dragon. Here's 2 different processes. I can click on this one or this one, and there's a little star or cancel process. If you can increase the process, you can speed it up basically by 1.5 times, 2 times, up to 3 times, with associated station cash cost. So in Dragon's Profit, it's all about constantly doing processes. You're going to be raising dragons and training them constantly all the time, multiple ones all the time. So you could easily rack up some money. You could you could just constantly set each of your dragons for 5 hours at a pop and only pay in-game cash, and each one of them only have that one process each. But if you want to start setting, for instance, on a 24-hour loop, that's 80 cents just for one process on one dragon. So imagine 6 dragons, all doing that 6 times 80, and then each of them having additional processes. So that whether, regardless of what hours, you're still racking up tiny sums of money on top of that. So it can kind of add up fast. And then if you're wanting to speed it up, all those processes, you're clicking on those processes and paying a chunk. This is the 24-hour process I had chosen, so prices are different. So that's kind of a look at spending in the Lair. We can also check about Catalyst and increasing our chances at getting better quality equipment when crafting. So let's go to the Master Armorsmith. Catalyst is the main thing in any of these professions that you can spend. It's 20 station cash per catalyst, and each one you add increases your chances of getting a better item. So I just clicked on this one. You can see for a white quality item, you can see 68.4 to 75.6 physical defense, and the green quality is obviously better stats, but a much lower percentage. Now if I wanted to, I can instantly start spending station cash. Here I spent 60 cents or 60 station cash, and I got it up to 12.9% chance of getting this item. So if I wanted to really increase my chances to, like, I guess the 20 is the limit, I could spend $4 and I still only have a 36.4% chance of getting this. Imagine that on any item from any profession: weaponsmith, armorsmith, alchemy, and so on. And you're talking hundreds, if not thousands, of different recipes. But you're probably people are probably gonna min-max and find the better recipes, the few better recipes when they get to max level, and all the, find the most preferred everything for that profession. But you can see it's 20 cents a pop to add. And some items even have a third better quality of something that you can get. Although this is just, this is a material, so instead of a better quality of it, it just is saying you can get more of it. You can see a number 5, but you could even do this on material if you wanted. Now, so you could easily rack up a lot of expenditures in crafting as well. Personally, I think it's fine. You can see how it might seem like later on that the paying for the better quality recipes could be like a pay-to-win type feature, maybe. I hate pay-to-win. I hate that term, but I know that everybody uses it, so I want to, I want to appeal to everybody. So that's about it. There's even places you can spend if you die. You can either revive way back at a spawn point or resurrect in the point you're at, and that costs station cash. So you can keep spending station cash that way. There's also the market. That's just the last thing I want to take a look at real quick, and this is like any game market. So you can get an idea of what the game will be like. There's costumes. But there's also a dragon insignia market, and this is a currency you get by doing daily quests in the game. So you can get things like transportation, enhancements, crafting. You can even buy catalyst for 50 insignia each, and you get the insignia again by doing daily quests. And I think that's about it. What I wanted to look at. And that's going to wrap it up. I just wanted a real brief touch on a couple of these things, on how much money you might be spending daily in your game, with a leaning towards the crafting and the Lair. And you can see, and the game's all about raising these dragons, so you're gonna be doing processes constantly on multiple dragons constantly, probably hundreds or thousands of times, depending on how long you play the game. Personally, here's how I feel to end this. I don't have a problem with it. I think it's bringing micro back to the term microtransactions, which I love. Now nowadays, in recent times, games kept getting higher with their prices and talking about buy this for $5, buy this mount for $10 or $15 for this mount. And I'm like, that's not microtransaction anymore. That's like buying a complete other indie developed game. That's like buying a complete video game of its own, 15, 20 bucks. But now you're spending 20 cents here, 80 cents there. You could do it a lot, so that really does rack up the price exponentially, but I like the option. I still like them at least giving me the option to do that. So that's my opinion on it. Yeah, I don't know what anybody else's opinion on it is, so you can always say so in the comment section below, and I'll see everybody next video.